relationships are not being built. And it was easy not building because you have a different reach. I see a lot of people talking about why men not dating anymore. It's not, it's funny because by me talking about this, you would think this is something easy to talk about. But it's kind of like one of those complex things to talk about because only certain people will probably understand this. If you dated a lot, you messed around with a nice amount of people, you had a lot of relationships with the opposite sex, you know what I mean, men and women together, you tend to, when you kind of think about relationships, bonding with the opposite party. I could say back in the 90s, I'm an 80s baby. Back in the 90s, when you kind of look at situations with being in a relationship with somebody and growing up, liking a girl, getting her number, and you write it on paper, or you talking to her and you walking her home off of the school bus. It's funny because at that time, you're not thinking about social media. Social media was not a play at that time. And it was very minimum. You had, I think, MySpace. MySpace is popping, you know. But it was the closest thing to like Instagram and, you know what I mean, Facebook and all them. They wasn't around yet. But it's crazy because you tend to build relationships with people when young. And it's crazy because when you're young, you build these relationships and they can go far. But you notice right in the 90s going into the 2000s, I never paid it any mind, but I noticed that how I was moving. You think about some of your past ways of how you did people dirty or you did them wrong, and you messing with this person, and you're not caring. But as you get older, you start to understand how things started to progress, and progress in a bad way. Like it's going forward, but you're actually going backwards because relationships are not being built. And it was easy not building because you have a different reach. At that time, you know, being young, you into cars. So once you get your hot car, and I was young, and you start doing these things and you out and you moving around in the streets, you start to have a appetite to have more than one person. And you tend to not build. And if you notice, from that time on, from that point on, as it start going further, you start having an appetite that can't be fed no more. It's null and void. That's probably what, not probably, I know for a fact. That's one of the reasons why, like even me, I'm going through a divorce. Like this is one of the reasons why it's hard to build with people now, because it's on both parties. It's not one, it's both. Because another thing that kind of plays a role in that, the strip club, people don't mention the strip club a lot. And for some odd reason, they mention it, but they talk about it very minimum, like it doesn't play a part. Oh man, it plays a part, especially just going. It plays a part because especially if you pull a couple, it plays a part. The eye candy, the way you view women from a man's eyes, we don't look at women the same how they look at men. I don't know how y'all look at men. I don't know if it's just for resources, but I remember a time it was not just for resources. It was for the relationship, the love, like the feelings that you felt, that jittery feeling. It's crazy. When the last time you felt that jittery feeling? That's probably why I feel like relationships are null and void today. Like it's crazy because that feeling that you get, I'm not going to say it's over, but it seems like those days are over. Because you can't even look at somebody and really have that type of energy towards them now. Because if you have a lot of, I'll be real. If you have a lot of experience with different, and you have different nationalities and backgrounds, you're gonna be blinded to a lot of things of like people's feelings. Because even the communication skills, even growing up, like if you see your mom operate a certain way, you definitely going to view, when you get in a relationship, that person through your mom's eyes. I don't care what nobody tell you. You will view it through your mom's eyes. And it's the same thing, vice versa, when you see your pop. If your pop is out here in the streets and he wilding out, you normally going to pick up that trait. And it's going to end up being picked up from the dad or the mom, depending who you look up to. But mostly, I'm gonna just say that if you in the household, especially with your mom, and your mom is wilding out, like she treating dudes wrong, running to dudes, yo, you're gonna view every female mostly like that. So you'll never really be able to build the trust or even have the energy to want to put into one person. Because I remember just like in my teenage years having a girl, and I would never ever forget about her, because that was a valuable point. And it's crazy because at that time in my life, I remember it was special moments that can make me go back to that time. And that time, Tupac had passed away. And I can't remember what day, but I was at her house. We were young. So I remember that time. That's why when you think about relationships, things are not memorable. And I think it might be because we got a lot going on with multiple different people, and it's hard to be memorable. This was weird, and I don't really think about it. I remember meeting somebody, and I actually had a short relationship with them. It was short-lived. I pulled them again 2 years later. Did not remember them, and I remembered this girl. When we went out, we didn't even go out the second time. I just went over her crib, and I was like, damn, what? Hey, no. Let me finish talking. We're not talking about the kids stuff. Let me talk. What I say when I'm talking. All right? I'll sit down and play with your blocks. I know I should have went upstairs in my office. I know it never fails. You never leave daddy alone. Look, let daddy finish talking, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to take a nice little drive somewhere. If it's warm, we'll go to a park. All right? All right. Thank you, dude. I'm going to go upstairs in my office. I'm telling you right now. And close and lock the door. No. All right. I'm sorry. Anybody knows about being a dad or a parent. It is what it is. But I remember the second time around, it did not dawn on me that I knew her. I was like, damn, she looked familiar. Sadly, she said the same day to me when we first met the second time we met that night. And this is sad. I must not have been memorable. No, I ain't gonna say that. Because we dealt with each other for maybe like a good 2 months. So, but I don't know. It was weird. And so it made me realize, we definitely started a trend that we can't break. I'm sorry. Anybody that got hope, take that hope, take that shit outside. It ain't coming back. It's not. It's hard to go back to that. The reason why is because those experiences are going to be transferred over to your kids. What you learned, look, I'm going to say this, and I know this just for, I don't want to say for facts, but it's facts. I grew up around nothing but women. And my mom raised me. But my dad, fell on hard times. Man, my dad tight. I finally got a chance to know his story. We tight, we bond like crazy. But I was able to see how my grandma operated. I was able to also see in the background how they talk about men. It was eye-opening. These are my relatives. These are people that I look at and I love. But damn, if I'm not your relative and I'm not your son and I'm not your grandson, damn, that's how you view the other party? It hurts. But you think I could forget that? No. And guess what? Going out into the world when you dating and you having relations, apple don't fall far from the tree. It's similar. They think similar because a lot of people are growing up in single family households, and it's crazy because if you only have one side, you only know one side of the story. And everybody don't always need a story. A lot of times we just need people to be there for you and to be able to teach you. If you're not being taught, The streets is going to teach you. And when they teach you, you will realize that your teachings are going to end up hurting you or helping you, depending on what you was taught. And we're seeing more and more men today dying over emotions. Emotions is not something men need to indulge in fully when it comes to being emotional. Overly emotional men are going to cause chaos. It's going to cause death. It's going to cause so many type of situations to transpire. That's not going to have a good outcome, you know. And that's one of the things why I try to be a good role model to my son. But don't get it twisted. I ain't perfect. Because one thing that I realized in the beginning phases, I used to go crazy, like be like very angry and snap out. And next thing you know, you got your kid looking at you, jumping, like nervous. And then you catch yourself, realize, whoa, hold up. Why is my son like really terrified of me? And then you realize why. It's that overly emotional, sensitive feeling of when you don't get your way. Think about it. Man, we're strong. We especially if you take care of yourself and, you know, and you work out. And some of them don't. You just got natural strength. A lot of men out here, we strong. We might act, some of us might look weak. Some of us might look like we got a lot of muscles, whatever. At the end of the day, men are not equal. We are not equal to each other at all. But we are very dominant, especially when anger strikes. Anger strikes, anything can happen. This is why you're seeing a lot of things play out today when it comes to these relationships. A trend done started whereas though it was cool and acceptable to smack a dude in the face. And for some odd reason, we had lived an era whereas though man was like, my dad told me or my uncles told me, never put your hands on a woman. Well, shit, you seeing that go out the window now because I think I know. Woman done ran that into the ground and thought that was a pass to smack the dog shit out of you and think you was going to get away with it. Well, guess what? Y'all getting plummeted now. Y'all getting punched in your ribs. Some of y'all are leaving here not being able to say bye to your families no more because y'all done did something really ruthless. Not to say that men don't do stuff ruthless, but I'm going to tell you something. It's a different game. Guy, remember, we got the strength. I could break a neck. That's probably why, not probably, it's one of the reasons why you don't want a man overly emotional. This is why relationships are so out of order right now. You have this, the softer party. You got this, the masculine party. Well, guess what? The masculine is starting to come down to the more softer, and the softer is starting to go over to the more masculine. Shit. How this gonna work? Guess what? It hasn't. Men are putting hands and feet. I don't know what's going on. You know what's going on. Don't want to say what's going on. But you can't blend the two parties. Cannot, don't give a damn what nobody tell you. Respect won't go out the window. And we had a time now where as though people cannot be their real self. You see multiple men in a room, we gelling, we having fun, we laughing. But if a female come in the room, everything gets uncomfortable. Because men don't joke the same way as a woman joke. Men are vulgar. We vulgar. I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm sorry if it's hurting your feelings. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but yo, it's honest. We say some of the wildest stuff, and it's not even by accident. It's our natural abilities and our way we think. Man, we wild like that. We sick. I don't even want to say some of the stuff we say, and it's crazy because y'all don't play the same way. That's why when y'all joke, we hold back in most cases. It depends. Depends on the way you operating. If you operating from a thing of you really trying to hurt somebody's feelings, then we'll go all the way. But we tend to kind of ease back because we know if a situation get a little too out of hand, and you've seen it now on social media, You even seen it with pranks. Dudes are saying some of the wildest stuff, even in pranks. You like, damn, he said that? And you sit back and you be like, I get it. This is a phase of life now that we can't go back to. Just won't. It's impossible. The disrespect on both sides. Can't go back. Can't. You can't say something to somebody, especially belittle people, or if you, it depends. Like the cheating thing, that's something different. It's crazy because if I step out, you can't do it. So, I don't know. Man, I don't know. But then at the same time, I don't know. It depends how you are. I don't know. Some men can deal with it. I don't know. Each his own. That's probably why when you hear somebody say, real men, nah, it's no such thing. It's no such thing. I'm telling you right now, it's no such thing. It's no such thing. No such. Real man, opposite party can never say what a real man is. The way your dad operated, it's not the way your husband and boyfriend is going to operate. It's not. Different eras. Different eras. Believe me, if your pops had social media, he probably would have threw something down somebody's throat along yo, and you'll be that female out here like, yo, I can't believe my dad did this. Nah.
You know how sometimes you make me sad?
How I make you sad?
When you like scare me and stuff, and it just makes me cry so bad. Like,
I know, but hold on.
And go on the stairs and like staring at me.
Oh, I know. It wasn't a prank. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but that's different. That's different.
I was telling you to stop, and you wasn't listening.
Okay.
Like, you see what I tell you?
Okay. Remember I said I can't do something for a long time, but it don't bother me. Got you. But what you was talking about was when I was on the step and you playing all the time, you pranking all the time. So I stood in the dark on the stairway and I stared at you. Then when you see me, you just started crying. You like, Dad, you scared me. And I said, see? I said, this is what you be trying to do. And I be telling you to stop. If I run down the steps and I'm terrified because you scared me, and then I fall down, break my neck, knock my teeth out, my ear fall off, everything happened to me, and it be all your fault.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I will never do that.
Okay.
I'll never do it to me.
Oh my God. He just turned this right around to him. Alright, video over. But y'all get my drift. Alright? So hey man, work on yourself. Female and man, you know what I mean? But hey man, I'm gonna say this. I'm still a sociable person. I still speak. I still oh my God. Not even a workout. I just think that we at a time now where it's good to speak. But I can definitely tell you, just from being out here, them days are null and void. Speaking to somebody just ain't the same. So, all right.